envisioned dominating the Formula One grid for years, then being left behind by a rival team that was previously a midfield runner-up. That's the reality Red Bull Racing and Max Verstappen are experiencing as McLaren's meteoric rise has stunned the F1 world, with rumors of cheating and unfair advantages ringing out across the paddock. The atmosphere is tense. Verstappen's recent remarks have sparked a firestorm of rumor. Is McLaren operating within the rules, or have they discovered a loophole that's providing them with an advantage? McLaren's meteoric rise raises eyebrows. McLaren's turnaround from a struggling team to a powerhouse in the 2025 season has been nothing short of phenomenal, with Oscar Piastri winning his third successive race at the Miami Grand Prix and Lando Norris regularly finishing on the podium. McLaren is now comfortably leading the Constructors' Championship. Their MCL39 car boasts extraordinary straight-line speed and better tire management, prompting others to battle in an attempt to overtake. This dramatic improvement in performance has created commotion within the paddock, as some doubt the sincerity of McLaren's improvements. Verstappen's veiled insinuations generate controversy. Max Verstappen, who is infamous for his straightforwardness, hasn't been reluctant to voice his doubts regarding McLaren's sudden success. Having been outpaced during recent races, Verstappen insinuated possible improprieties and that McLaren's performance improvements could be less than clean. Short of making direct accusations, however, his words have generated discussions among fans and pundits alike. The question lingering beneath is, has McLaren uncovered a revolutionary innovation, or are they taking advantage of loopholes in the rules? Red Bull's concerns regarding McLaren's tire management. Red Bull Racing have voiced concern regarding McLaren's superior tire performance, including their capacity to keep tires at the correct temperature during races. Evidence suggests that McLaren tires have cooler patches compared to their competitors, and this has raised questions regarding unusual cooling mechanisms. Although Red Bull has not made an official protest, in their opinion, McLaren's tire management practices need closer examination. McLaren's firm denial and call for fair play. Denying any wrongdoings in response to the claims, McLaren CEO Zak Brown has flatly dismissed any wrongdoings and referred to the accusations as bogus. Brown noted that McLaren's success is attributed to constant hard work, creativity, and adhering strictly to FIA rules. He went as far as jokingly answering the tire cooling rumors by wielding a tire water bottle at a press conference. Brown supports the use of an official protest system with monetary penalties to discourage unsubstantiated allegations and uphold the integrity of the sport. FIA's position during the escalating tensions. The FIA has recognized the issues raised, but has not discovered any evidence of regulatory violations by McLaren. No equipment has been seized, and the governing body has not made any formal inquiries. Nevertheless, the FIA is keeping a close eye on the situation to ensure that the sport's technical and sporting regulations are complied with. Their position highlights the need to have a level playing field while promoting innovation within the regulations. Historical precedents of technical controversy. Formula One has a rich history of teams extending the limits of regulations. Right from the double diffuser saga to the flexi-wing controversy, Innovation 2 walks the thin edge between brilliance and illegality. McLaren's predicament today is reminiscent of earlier occurrences where teams brought about revolutionary technology that perturbed the existing order. These precedents show how the sport is always evolving, and the struggle between innovation and regulation. Implications for the championship battle. The dramatic battle between McLaren and Red Bull puts a further layer of complexity to the battle for the 2025 championship. McLaren on top of the Constructors' Championship and Piastri leading the drivers' classification leave Red Bull in a tricky position. This struggle might boil down to how the FIA chooses to interpret its regulations, and more so, if regulatory clarity emerges at all. Each subsequent race with each passing weekend serves as the next vital stage in the fight for dominance. The psychological warfare off the track. Aside from the technicalities, psychological dynamics among teams are also a determining factor. Verstappen's remarks and Red Bull's insinuations may be deliberate actions to disturb McLaren's rhythm. In a sport where mental strength is as important as engine performance, these tactics can have an impact on team morale and driver confidence. McLaren's reaction and resilience to these challenges will be instrumental in deciding their championship hopes. Fan opinions and public perception. Opinions, speculations, and debates abound in the F1 fan base. Views vary, ranging from backing Red Bull's complaints to justifying McLaren's success. Social media forums are filled with arguments that chop up every possible aspect of the controversy. Public perception can impact team images and even sway sponsors' moods, and hence holds the key in the developing story. The widening gap in the paddock. As the season for 2025 gets underway, the paddock atmosphere is starting to feel more like a pressure cooker just about to blow. Silent alliances are being formed between teams, suspicious looks are being exchanged between engineers, and each podium finish is succeeded by muttered accusations or backhanded shots in the press conferences. This rift isn't merely between McLaren and Red Bull. It's beginning to spread throughout Ferrari, Mercedes, and Aston Martin too. Everyone's observing McLaren, and now every small feat they accomplish is being exaggerated and analyzed. It's not so much about winning races anymore. It's about defending egos and determining who's actually innovating the sport and who's treading on thin ice. It's a contemporary Formula One arms race, and McLaren is currently right in the firing line. F1's identity crisis, innovation, or exploitation. Formula One has always been a sport where genius goes hand in hand with scandal. From active suspension systems to the infamous DOS steering device, teams have always pushed against the boundaries, making technical gray areas competitive gold. The question now is philosophical. Is McLaren merely innovating at the top level, or are they redefining the very essence of competition? Verstappen's implicit claims don't merely challenge a competitor, they challenge the sport itself to pose tough questions. Are the rulebooks still strong enough to ward off exploitation, or has the rate of technological progress outpaced the FIA's ability to keep pace? One thing's for sure, this fight's no longer merely being waged on the track. It's going on in the boardrooms, in the workshops, and in the cold stares between pit lane walls. The fans deserve the truth. At the center of all the hubbub are the fans, the tens of millions of fans worldwide who watch every race weekend to see the best of motorsport. They don't simply crave exciting overtakes and picture finishes, they crave fairness, openness, and the knowledge that each victory was deserved, not manufactured through abuse. That's why this narrative is important. Verstappen accusing McLaren isn't simply paddock rumor-mongering. It's a lightning rod for underlying concerns that fans are passionate about. If there is cheating, it has to be uncovered. If there isn't, then McLaren can bask in the glory they have so struggled to win. Either way, however, fans have the right to have answers and not more smoke and mirrors. So what happens next? The eyes now all look to Shanghai. The Chinese Grand Prix will be more than a race on the schedule. It'll be a full-on litmus test for McLaren. If they control again, suspicions at Red Bull will rise and the FIA will be under massive pressure to act. If they slip, they will be accused of finally crumbling under the spotlight. Either scenario will keep the headlines burning for weeks. And in a championship this close, each second, each pit stop, and each press conference might tip the balance of the entire season. The battle lines have been drawn, and whatever the battle is fought with, speed, scrutiny, or strategy, it's going to be epic. Red Bull vs. McLaren best represents the nature of Formula One, a constant search for excellence, creativity, and success. Where the teams tread on the thin line between genius and rulebook reading, there are bound to be controversies. The trick lies in openness, sportsmanship, and the role of the FIA to protect the sport's integrity. What do you think of this drama unfolding? Do you think McLaren's performance is solely down to innovation, or is there something more going on behind the scenes? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell to keep up with all things F1.